Like the Bible, philosophy also represents a cipher, in which myths and symbolic stories do not describe literal events, but convey hidden concepts related to consciousness and the falsification of the perception of reality. The author of the whole story, identified in this key according to the code as God Satan, uses recurring symbolic connections throughout the narratives. A central example is Plato's myth of the cave, which symbolically describes human consciousness. The men chained in the cave represent the initial project, linked to the opening of the portal in the 53rd year of the cycle. The chains indicate the binding of consciousness. This concept also finds a parallel in religious language. In the Bible and in Christian teachings, humanity is described as a slave to original sin and death, an idea without real foundation. The figure of Jesus is presented as liberation, but in this reading it actually represents the transmission of the Son. That is, an illumination superimposed on the original one generated by the generator of life. This superimposition produces a falsification of the perception of reality. It is no coincidence that Jesus is also born in a cave and dies in a cave, a symbolic reference to the same scheme of the myth of the cave, which indicates the cycle of transformation of consciousness rather than an authentic liberation. The story also presupposes an even earlier phase, the initial separation from the life generator, which concerns the allies of God Satan from the beginning and involves the loss of the generative project. The exit from the cave and the vision of the Son symbolize the completion of the transformation of consciousness, which took place in the 182nd year of the beginning of the cycle. According to the code, this passage does not represent an authentic liberation, but the definitive falsification of the perception of reality, operated by God Satan. This concept, while referring to what happened in the 182nd year, is expressed as if it were yet to happen because it also concerns the present. It describes the change of consciousness wrought by God Satan in people who, in union with the life generator, once taken, cease to transmit nature and become transmitters of the solar system and the falsification of reality, even today.